You've got your pictures here, your paintings, but this focus on the ceramic work. What drew you to the ceramics? Is there something about the kiln, the fire, the smoke?
That process of raku is quite you just get caught, you get brought into that. I'm doing this raku, man, and I pull these things out of the fire. You don't know what you're gonna get. You pull them out, man, and you get all these metallic lusters and coppers and silvers and golds. It's so beautiful. And that's what I'm after. And you get addicted to that. And I'd say I am addicted.
I mean, it seems metaphorical also in terms of the beauty that comes out of going through the fire.
Exactly.
But maybe I'm being too metaphorical here.
No, there's a spiritual thing connected with that fire and then the drums. And I can understand it. You will get drummers over here to sit out there with their drums, and some people dancing, drumming and dancing. And the drums call the ancestor spirits into the kiln. And they go into the fire and they get in there with the pieces. And they imbue the pieces with his ancestor spirit. And I can feel his presence and I love it. You know, I was out there one time and we pulled a piece out. This is when I was younger. I had 2 arms at the time. And we put it on this metal table and we hit it with the hose. It was some shackled up men and women. They had chains around their necks. After we hit it with the water started boiling because it was so hot. And the mouths were open and you could hear these things start screaming like women and children, women wailing. And I didn't hear it at first. My dogs heard it. I had 2 Doberman pinschers out there. They heard it. Their ears went up and they took off running. I said, what's wrong with them dogs? And then I heard it. And I called my friend. I said, Derek, get over here, man. Listen to this. And you could hear these women wailing. And I said, oh my God, this thing. And I took it. I brought it down here after that happened. I set it on the table. A guy came in from Senegal. A friend of mine brought him in and we're talking. And I told him about the piece. He said, oh, yeah. He said, that's Kumba Castile. I said, Kumba Castile? I said, what is that? He says, that's the female wailing spirit of Goree Island, where they had the birthing room for the women that were pregnant. Oh my God, man. I said, damn, I don't know where this is coming from, but it's coming from someplace. I didn't really realize where it actually came from until 1994. When I actually did go to Goree Island. Well, I went before that, but I went to Elmina Castle in Ghana. I went to Elmina and Cape Coast Castle, and me and my wife went in there. And I went down in there.
And that was where the enslaved Africans were held before they were forced onto the Middle Passage.
Exactly. Some spiritual things happened to me in there. So I go in this big dungeon. They said there was over 500 Africans in there. And somebody put some candles on the altar up there. And I got on my knees and I started meditating. And I'm not even though I was an ordained minister, I am an ordained minister, I'm not that into spiritual stuff like that. Not the Bible and not the Koran, but I'm down here and I'm on my knees and all of a sudden I hear this woman say, we've been waiting for you. And look, this scared the mess out of me. I looked up and I saw all these spirits around the room and a woman was doing the talking. She said, we need you to teach our children who was stolen about our history, about our culture, and about our religions. And I thought about that and I said to myself, I thought to myself, I didn't say a word. I said, but I don't know nothing about that. I thought that. And she said, don't worry. She could hear what I thought. She said, we have been guiding your hands. I said, oh my God. So I backed up. I said, okay. As long as you guide my hands, baby, I'm with you.